Hey guys, welcome to the very, very first episode. CineNerds.
I fucked it all up.
You messed it up. First thing.
Idiot.
I'm JP.
Ryan.
James.
So, here we are. First episode.
All right.
What do you guys think?
I'm excited. I want to start reviewing some movies, maybe some series, some games. Here's some suggestions from you guys and see what we're going to do.
He can't wait to hear me knock off his shit.
Okay, there will be a significant amount of comedic relief. You know that. That being James' fuckery.
Yeah.
By the way, that's my favorite word, fuckery. You'll hear me say it a lot.
Well, James is always angry about every movie that we even talk about because he's like, I don't know anything about it. It's stupid.
Look at the... Let's just talk about literally the titles that you have told me I need to watch. Let's talk about the ones you told me while waiting for Ryan to get here.
Oh, yeah. I got to show you guys.
Like, this is a book that he has read multiple times.
So, I told James that
I don't know what this is.
Yeah, Ryan wasn't here.
Blind.
Ryan wasn't here. I told James that during this whole podcast thing that we're doing, that we are going to go down
A rabbit hole
of the cinematic masterpieces by Albert Payan.
Who?
He is a low-budget film director.
Awful.
And he has done amazing films. This is a book that a guy wrote about going down the rabbit hole of watching every one of his films.
So this guy's a massive nerd also.
He's a very, very fine gentleman.
I'm a movie nerd, and I love my independent film and stuff like that. I'm not familiar with them, so...
You are, and you just don't know it.
Oh yeah, no, he actually told me a couple. I actually knew a couple of these.
So-
Well, why am I familiar?
Okay, so
Tell him the ones that I knew.
one of my all-time favorite films, which could possibly be talked about here in a little while, is called Radioactive Dreams, which is the name of this book, which is a movie that he did. A lot of people don't remember it. It's a fantastic post-apocalyptic film.
Was it ever in theaters?
You know, I believe it did have a limited theater run.
Like a week? 3
It
days?
probably wasn't long. It probably wasn't long. However, Albert Payan, if you look at the cover, you may recognize a couple films just off the cover of this book. His very first film
I know who that is.
was The Sword and the Sorcerer.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
That was his first film.
That was fucking awesome.
Okay. He did The Sword and the Sorcerer. He did Alien from L.A.
I do remember that. It was horrible, but yes.
He did Vicious Lips. He did a movie called Dangerously Close. He did the Nemesis movies, you know, the Cyborg movies, Nemesis. He did all those. He actually did the original Cyborg movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Ooh, okay.
He did the
Didn't know that was a movie.
1991 Captain America film.
Never saw it.
Ooh.
He did Brain Smasher, A Love Story.
Now, hold on. Let's go back to that era for a second, because that era Punisher was pretty badass with Dolph Lundgren. So,
Oh, yeah.
He did.
I love that Punisher.
Didn't you say he did? What was the other one he did?
Brain Smasher.
No, there was another one. Kick.
Oh, yeah, he did Kickboxer too.
I knew that one.
fuck yeah.
He did Kickboxer
Never
too.
saw it, but I knew that one.
He did not know who Sasha Mitchell was until I said that he played Cody on Step by Step. And
I
he's
watched that as a
"I
kid
love
all the
that
time.
guy."
Cody
So-
was the best on that show.
And I was like, well, he was the kickboxer.
I was
in
10,
two, three, and
man.
four.
Like-
Watching it. I don't know.
Oh, jeez. It's because you're old.
So I'm gonna say it like this. So I'm one of the fans and nerds that, like, if we use Star Wars, for example.
Already, we are 4 minutes and 7 seconds in,
Yep.
and it's already being talked about Star Wars.
hold on.
We couldn't go 7
Hold on,
minutes.
hold
We
on.
went 4.
I gotta stay on focus or I'm gonna lose it because it always flies away. That's what happens with me. So in Star Wars, though, there's the nerds who are the ultimate nerds who can tell you the exact guns, the exact ships, the make and model, this type of stormtrooper, blah blah blah. I'm not necessarily that, but I can tell you most of the stuff about story. So you've got those details, I feel, and those nerds.
Some.
Pretty good.
Yeah, some, but then there's
At
some
least in
I
your
don't.
Categories.
I mean, I've met a few people that are like, well, like you said, oh, I know this type of gun and blah 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 blah. I don't go that deep.
Yeah.
I don't go that deep.
You're
but-
not a real fan. You've been a faker this whole time.
However, I have never,
right.
I have
Here,
never
let-
been, I have never been. I have Star Wars Trivial Pursuit downstairs that I have never been beaten at.
Let's go, motherfucker.
This might be an episode. I'll host that. I'll do that. If I can read a card and give you an answer and tell you you're right or wrong, I'd be willing to do that.
That could be fun.
We could make that
If
happen.
nothing else. And I always like it's really rare when somebody nerds out as hard as I do with Star Wars. So I would appreciate the challenge, if nothing else.
Oh yeah.
I'm actually okay with that episode of Star Wars.
I would actually be excited to do that because I've had that game since it came out in like early 2000s, and so it don't have any of the new stuff. It has all the I guess it was maybe mid 2000s because it has all the prequels information in it, and it also dives into a lot of the Legends books now.
EU, yeah.
But I haven't played it since I first got it because nobody will ever play me in it anymore. So
I'm the same way, and that's why my wife wanted to get rid of it the other day. I'm like, no, because I have it as well. And I'm like, no, you are not allowed to get rid of it. I go, somebody will challenge me one day, so here we go.
yeah.
And by the way, you don't get to fuck with us, Jersey Shore boy.
I can do whatever I want.
Pink drink.
So here, real quick, let's I got something for you guys.
Oh no.
I brought presents. So for those of you who don't know, I have a popcorn company.
We need one of those things when you,
And so-
when you ding someone for name dropping.
I brought popcorn.
Wait, did you post the video of me talking about your the new company name?
I sent it to my wife. I could post that later. Yeah, we'll post that later. So I brought you both.
I could talk about it now again.
Well, wait until we're done here.
Oh.
So there's your pumpkin spice,
Oh,
vanilla
you
pumpkin
fucking
spice for
asshole.
both of you. You're welcome.
Thank you. I mean,
You also asked for a chocolate caramel pretzel. I already gave you your chocolate caramel because he was hungry.
since we're
Here's your Chicago mix.
Oh, I'm excited about this one.
And then I brought you both an extra. There's a runts for you
All right.
and a runts for you.
My newly legal vape pen is flavored runts as well.
And I actually Facebook because I posted this saying, "Hey, look, I have a new flavor." They actually I couldn't post for days because they thought I was talking about that instead
you
of pop.
serious?
Oh, I swear to God.
However, I posted a picture.
Oh, Scott Rose, Scott from Ricketts, literally posted because that's what he does. He deals with marijuana plants. He's like, look, I can post this, but he can't post his popcorn. I'm like,
Let's-
this
hold
son
on,
of
hold
a
on.
bitch.
Are you okay? You sound like an old white person talking about pot. You're like, the marijuana.
I don't do that. I don't smoke.
I know what you
I've
said.
never smoked.
It's okay to talk about it.
He was so mad about that because I posted a photo of me holding 2 ounces of weed,
I
Literally.
loved it.
and he was
He
like,
didn't get. Nope, nothing to him but me. I'm like, hey, popcorn, shut me down.
it's because he was trying to sell it.
Trying to sell the weed in the popcorn. We'll tell the truth. We know.
I've had people write me asking what me to do. I told them no. But anyway, enjoy your pumpkin spice. You're welcome.
Oh well, thank you. I'm really excited.
I'm
about
sure
the,
you are.
about the.
Have you checked
cheddar
the frame
caramel.
on that?
How about what?
Check the frame. Is this in? I'm shutting. Do I need to scoot
Oh no,
closer now?
it's wide angle.
All right.
We don't
You're
want
good.
you in it anyway.
I'm wide angle myself, so that's why I was making sure.
So today's episode, let's talk about what we're doing today. So we wanted to give everybody an introductory to the three of us. The two of them are kind of the same realm of enjoying the same styles of movies, and then I'm the anomaly that is not the same. So today we're gonna go over our top 5 movies, franchises, directors, whatever, the top 5 things that really gave us our building blocks of who we are and what we like in film as we are today as we sit here. So I don't know, who wants to go first?
Let's go this way. Let's start with Ryan and come around.
Okay.
Well, isn't that some shit?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, I'll go first if you want
Well,
me to.
first of all, you just threw a curveball at me because the original agreement was the top 5 films. Then you just said franchises. and all
Well,
that
I
other
remember
stuff.
yesterday I did
These
send
are-
the text saying, "Hey, do you want me to limit it to one or?"
I mean, I can.
I mean, let's just be realistic. In no particular order. Number 1 for both of you is going to be Star Wars.
I will say this: my top 5 picks. I did not choose Star Wars, but for
Lying
reasons.
sack of
There's even though Star Wars is
You're already lying to us already
No,
on the
no,
first 5.
no, lying.
You're lying to everyone.
In case that didn't come through, I want to make sure we
Lying sack of shit is what I said.
James said it under his breath, and I just
Fucking asshole. Lying.
I'm explaining why it's
fucktard.
not on my list. First off, I knew it would probably end up on Ryan's list, so
Yep,
I knew we would be.
it
I
is.
knew we was going to be
But
talking
it's still
about
your
it.
top 5, and you need to explain why. You have 2 different reasons why, you lying piece of shit.
And I do feel like there's other film genres
Shut up, you liar.
that influence my
gonna eat
taste
that.
more than Star Wars. Even though my top 5 list does not even have half of them are not even like my top 5 films of all time. It's just I had other films and genres that kind of influenced me beyond even my favorite films. So
for me with my list, I'm gonna say this, like, part of being a CineNerd is simply the love of movies, right? So this list I give might be this list, but just for this week. You know what I mean? Like, it can always change. There's always movies I think about. I'm like, holy shit, that was such a good movie, and it goes back to my heart, and it puts changes that whole list. So, but that's it.
I get that.
Do you want me to go first?
I can go. I'm ready.
I'll go first just because I think you guys might actually talk a little longer than me because I'm not.
Well, that's why you're going to be in the middle.
Well, no, I mean, because trust me, I'm gonna have fun with your list too.
Oh, that's true. Go ahead. You go right ahead, Ryan.
All right.
Ryan in his top 5.
I'm gonna do
Dun, dun,
5
dun.
back to 1. I'm gonna do like the big reveal at the end. I know, shocker. James is like,
My top 5 is going to be in no particular order.
Well, my top 5 is in order. So number 5, this one is definitive and defining in my life, and it's a tie. And yes, I did a tie. Night of the Living Dead, the original, and Porky's. And the reason I choose these 2 films is because when I was 6 years old, my 10-year-old neighbor, because back in the 80s, when you were 10, your parents leave you alone in the summer. My 10-year-old neighbor goes, hey, come over, let's watch the movies. And I went next door, and at 6 years old, I saw those 2 movies first, and they defined my personality to this day. So I love horror, and I love fucked up shit.
What's funny about you choosing Porky's is I wasn't expecting that. I was not, and I think the cool thing is me and Ryan don't know a lot about our film history between like what he's into and what I'm into beyond Star Wars.
The fuck is Porky?
So that being said,
you would love it. You would love it.
Porky's is not on my list, but it is somewhat on my list. So it's actually really cool that you put.
So if you're talking about like 80s definitive college meathead frat movies, Porky's is there. Like, you think Revenge of the Nerds, but to another level. Like,
I've never even seen that.
You've never seen Revenge of the Nerds?
He's never seen anything.
I've seen like half of it.
We'll fix you, don't worry.
I see the same. I see the second half of it all the time on
I mean,
TV.
I can understand somebody not seeing Porky's, but Revenge of the Nerds, you got to see.
There is.
I watched the show when they did that show.
There is going to be a film.
reality show.
There is going to be a film I'm going to let you watch at some point.
Let me or make me?
Make you.
Okay, there we go.
That makes Porky's seem like a Disney film, and maybe you've seen it. And I told one of my friends a couple weeks ago that I'm going to make you watch this film, and he said he's never seen it before.
Why do you act like you have friends?
And he said no. He said I cannot. He said I cannot imagine anyone watching this film in 2023 that has never seen it before. It's a film called The Party Animal.
The Party Animal?
The Party Animal.
No, I don't know if I've seen it.
It is Porky's times 1,000. I let one of my friends watch it, and he watches a lot of old films like that. And he was like, "This one got away from me," and this is the craziest movie I've ever seen in my life. And it's in the vein of Porky's.
Okay.
It's going to be a fun one for James to watch.
I think that
Highly
when you
doubt
get
it.
into that realm, I think
Highly
James
doubt it.
appreciate some of our taste in film.
Yeah.
Highly doubt it.
No, these ones are, dude. I know you and your personality.
Okay, so here's my question, because I know we've already derailed off your list, but here's my question: is it anything like Weekend at Bernie's?
No.
Because I hate that movie.
No.
I don't understand why that movie was such a big movie.
I love Weekend at Bernie's, but no.
I got halfway
All that-
through it, and when they were all at the house and they're trying to keep him sitting there on the couch, and everyone's there hanging out, and I'm just like,
Yo,
this
I
is stupid.
loved anything Andrew McCarthy did in the 80s.
Who?
So
Oh, my God. Anyways, I would just say this. It's very, all of the pranks and all of the things that I've known you through the years to do are pretty much in these movies in some way, shape, or form, and so that's why you'll appreciate it. They're a lot like you in that regard.
We'll find out when we get there.
Yeah, we will. Let's carry on.
Carry on.
Yeah, carry on.
Let's go,
All right,
let's go.
so we're gonna jump to an extreme different for number 4.
Well, let's just do one at a time, all the way around.
Yeah, okay.
Oh,
All right.
okay.
Yeah,
And what's your
Well, my I don't have mine in a particular order because they're all slightly different, but we'll just start with this. So I had to do a top 6 because I couldn't get rid of a 5th. I couldn't make a design, so I'm
So
just
you
gonna
cheated.
yes, and so I'm gonna make this quick with both of them. The Game,
Never heard
with
of it.
Michael Douglas,
Michael Douglas?
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about now. Okay.
and The Great Outdoors. I'm just starting with real quick with 2 just to get them out of the way. The Great Outdoors. I love the 80s Dan Aykroyd. Like, I love Dan Aykroyd.
Well,
He's
yeah.
one of my favorite people I've ever
Yes,
met.
like anything he does is gold in my opinion. I had no idea he was in the Christmas with the Cranks. I just saw that and I'm like, God damn it! I actually probably would have loved this. I just
Yeah.
didn't know he was in it and
Christmas
didn't watch it.
Cranks is a great flick too.
The reason why The Game is on my list is because I love a movie that after it's done, you go, I can never see it again and see it the same way, because now you know. No one saw that coming at the end, and I'm not going to ruin it for those
That's
who
not
haven't
where I
seen
thought
it.
you were going with that.
But you didn't see that coming at the end.
No. I didn't. I did to a certain extent.
I did not.
I'm
And
one of
so
those.
when it happened, it's like, well, now I know. Like, you could never watch. That is a movie you could never see a second, third, fourth, 10th time and have the same feeling you had the first time. In my opinion.
Kind of like Fight Club.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what Chuck Palahniuk, who wrote that, is one of my favorite authors. His books are a lot like that too.
I don't read.
Any Jesus, you're broken.
I've
man.
read one book since high school,
Jesus.
and it was The Heroin Diaries by Nikki Sixx. And I was at work.
All right. No, what I was gonna say though is any movie for me that leaves me rethinking the movie after I watch it is a movie for me. Like
Yes.
that's what defines a movie to me. So
Yeah.
if it leaves that kind of impression, it's good. But The Game, I thought you were saying that you were like, what'd you say? Basically along those lines, you were thinking about it after you saw it. Is what
Yeah,
I thought you were
like you
going.
can never see it again the same way because
But-
now you know what the ending is. You didn't know how that meant.
But
that
have you
was-
watched it again?
Oh, I've seen it 5-6 times since then,
And you still love
and
it?
I still love it. But knowing that that's going to happen at the end, it'll never be the same. After the first one, it'll never be the same.
Fair.
It's kind of like, I mean, I hate to say, I'm not a fan of these styles of movies because I don't like blood, guts, gore, and all that. Another reason why I suck at movies. But the first time I saw, the first thought I had in my head was either whoever wrote this is either a fucking psychopath or you're a genius. Now, after Saw 2, I didn't give a shit because it just kind of got so repetitive.
I didn't either.
It was like the first 2, 3, I'll give you that. After that, it's the same shit.
The first one I loved.
But
After
that first
it
one,
was-
I remember sitting there. I remember him living in my apartment at the time, and I'm watching that movie, and I remember going to bed going, what the hell did I just watch? Like, it was really mind-blowing to me. So to have a movie that once you see it the first time, that you can't see it again, that's what got me with The Game. JP?
Cool.
Well, and
What's
you
on
know,
your list?
to go back to your Great Outdoors, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
The Great Outdoors is just a classic.
I mean, I have
It's-
my
it's-
Dan
it's-
Aykroyd
it's
shirt
an
that says
absolute
"Suck
classic.
My Wake."
I watched that once in the early '90s. I need to go back and watch it again.
Oh,
That-
dude,
that-
I love
me
it.
and Heather watched it literally
The Great
2 weeks ago,
The Great
if that.
Outdoors was played probably once a week at my house
Nice.
when I was a kid. So
But it never gets old. It is because I like seeing Dan Aykroyd in the jerk mode
yeah,
because you didn't see that a lot with him, and so for him to be the asshole, and John Candy unfortunately I feel like he's already forgotten about because he died so long ago. But the dude was hilarious.
Yeah.
It
no,
was
he was
Uncle
great.
Buck.
Yeah.
Fucking
So
gold.
I've never seen that.
Uncle
my
Buck is
God.
amazing.
I've never seen it.
So now that you got little one in your life, watch it now.
Not to throw my stepson under the bus. I love him to death. He don't watch movies.
No, he doesn't have to. I'm just saying you need to see it as a person who looks after a
Okay.
younger child.
Okay.
Because when you, like, for me, even when I didn't have a kid and I had my little brother, like, because I saw it when I was a kid, put me into instant protective mode just because he's such a badass and he's Uncle Buck. It's so good.
Like, I do the old 96er. The boat, the whole skiing part just cracks me up every time. Like I have the shirt of him going like this of Danny Aykroyd going, and it just says "suck my wake." Like I saw that. I looked at my wife. I'm like, birthday. That's what I want for my birthday.
That is something that I will point out about James, that he is a T-shirt guy. If there's a T-shirt he finds or something he wants, like
I asked Heather yesterday to get me one that is a pickle with Nick Cage's face and said "Pickleous Cage."
It's funny you say that because
she told me no.
I'll talk about that one later. I had something to build off Nick Cage, but we won't do that just yet.
What, my blanket, my bunk blanket for tour?
The blanket I found for you.
Yeah, you have to understand something. Well, I'll never forget it. It was August 5th. We were driving to Battle Creek to play at the Music Factory. And it was just me and him. And I'm driving, and everyone's asleep. And he's on Amazon looking up anything Nick Cage. And just, look what they got. Look what they got. Look at the pillow. And I ordered the blanket of him coming out of a banana in a space theme. And that's my blanket now whenever we're touring.
All right, my number 5. You ready for this?
Not even close to anything you say.
My number 5 is Dr. Strangelove.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Taking that back.
Yeah.
That's another one of the ones I've seen once when I was younger and I haven't seen again, and I need to go back and rewatch.
Did you ever see Dr. Strangelove?
I don't. I'm literally gonna Google it right now, so I know what the hell you're talking about.
It's a Stanley Kubrick movie.
God bless you.
Oh, come on, Kubrick, come on.
It's an old '60s movie, black and white.
Is that a Bond movie?
No, it's not a Bond movie. It is about basically the tension of the Cold War is what it's about. It's just a fantastic movie, and I think in today's climate, it's a very relevant movie. But this movie, for me, I loved old black and white films.
1964.
And kind of like Night of the Living Dead that you had on your list, old Three Stooges episodes. Like, I love old black and white films, and I think a lot of those old black and white films for me.
It's Peter Sellers.
Yeah.
I love.
Yeah.
Hold on, wait. They're not on my list, but I have the box set of all the old Pink Panthers.
Yeah.
Those movies crack me the fuck up.
But my thing with these old black and white films is you didn't have special effects. You had great actors that carried these films, and
it's kind of like musicians and Pro Tools.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing essentially. But today, it's all CGI and explosions, and you don't even really have to be that good of an actor to be in a big blockbuster film. No. But back then, you had all these great actors, and so that's kind of why I picked Dr. Strangelove. It's one of my favorite films, and it kind of shows that I love those old black and white films.
One of my, it's not on my list today, but one of my favorite old school films is The Last Man on Earth, Vincent Price.
I love that.
That black and white movie. And by the way, have you seen I Am Legend, Will Smith? You haven't seen that even? So that's just straight up stole everything from Last Man on Earth.
It's based on the same book.
Yeah, but
and so
I've never seen Men in Black either.
So is the did you ever see Omega Man?
Yeah.
And it's based off that same
Charles
book
Destin,
as well. Yeah.
I don't speak Spanish. What?
God, I hate
No
you.
habla cinema.
Number 4?
All right, number 4. I guess we'll keep moving along. All right, so number 4 for me is a sci-fi horror masterpiece. I think it is the perfect sci-fi horror genre film. It is called Event Horizon. Have you seen that?
Oh yes.
Okay.
Oh yes.
I wasn't sure.
Don't even ask me.
So I know you haven't. So I'm gonna dig a little deeper here. What instigated me to watch this film first was A, there's a sci-fi element, and I love sci-fi more than most films. But B, there's a specific actor in it. I forget the guy's name, but he was in a TV series on MTV when it was still good, called Dead at 21 or Dead by 21.
I don't remember that.
Oh my god, it was such a good series. It was where
was this 1983?
There was it was like 93, somewhere in that ballpark, 91, 93. And in that series, there was certain people that had been modified by the government, and they had microchips in them. And when they turned,
this was on MTV.
Yeah, and when they turned 21,
where the fuck was I?
Microchips would explode and they die. So it was a whole thing. I haven't seen that one in years too, but the one actor is in it he was the main character in that show, was in Event Horizon, and I'm like, all right, that guy, I like him. He's good. This is his next thing. I want to check it out. And I went and checked it out, and he wasn't even like really one of the focal points of the movie. And the movie, if you can imagine, Hellraiser in space, and no, I don't mean Hellraiser Bloodlines, Hellraiser in space.
I know who that is. I've seen that.
Pinhead.
Yeah,
Yes.
Heather made me watch it.
Yeah, that's good shit.
You guys are like my wife better than me.
And
I do.
I mean, and this is making me bounce so many topics just talking about this one movie, because now I said the word Hellraiser. Hellraiser 2 Hellbound is one of my favorite sequels in the world. It's amazing. It's great. But I digress. So that's my 4.
Event Horizon. Here's some trivia for you. You may like this one. So, I actually rewatched Event Horizon pretty recently.
I haven't. I need to.
Yeah, pretty recently. Now, the thing about I love Event Horizon. Special effects do not hold up. That's the only painful thing about that movie is the special effects don't hold up. But
who cares? You like it when it was back in the day because you like the black and white, right?
It's still a great film. Yeah. And that one's actually a great example of great acting. That movie has some really great actors in it. But I believe he played the captain was Sean Pertwee. Who played Alfred in Gotham. Do you know who his father is?
I don't.
John Pertwee.
At a loss.
Really?
Who's John Pertwee, you know? That's what I'm saying. You're better at the names.
The Third Doctor?
Oh, my God.
Mm-hmm. That is John Pertwee's son.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, hey, that's look at him.
You are just full of useless knowledge.
I am.
I mean...
I thought I was bad.
He's got the names down.
I thought I was bad. But holy crap. Like, I don't need this for Wikipedia if we ever need it. We're just...
Sometimes.
The fuck?
That's just on the fly, too.
Oh, God forbid we get any deeper. Holy shit.
James, what's your 4?
All right, again, mine's not in any particular order because I bounce so much in what I'm in the mood for. Anything Broken Lizard.
I like Broken Lizard
Anything
stuff.
broken. When I need a good laugh, I'm watching Super Troopers 1 and 2.
No,
Everyone can talk
not
smack
2.
all they want. 2 was good. I don't give a shit what you say.
Listen.
I like 2 because Tyler Lebane's in it.
Do you know 3 of my favorite comedies? Anchorman, Zoolander, Troopers. Hello, Super Troopers.
Yes.
Those movies, I laughed way harder than you should ever laugh at something like those movies. They were amazing.
But did you ever see it? But here's the thing,
But
though.
the sequel sucked.
No, it didn't.
Oh my
it didn't.
God, they were so
it
bad.
Didn't.
I
It
actually
didn't.
liked the sequel.
The
Like I said,
second one was good.
I like Tyler Lebane
We needed that.
in the second one.
We needed them to, and they're going to do a third. I heard they're doing a third one. But
That's great.
But here's the thing. Let's move forward into other movies like Club Dread.
I love their Dukes of Hazzard.
I didn't see. I never
see
watched
that.
that one
The
because I didn't know. I actually
with
didn't know
Johnny
it was
Knoxville
them. And Stifler,
Yeah.
Sean Penn.
Sean
Oh,
William Scott.
Sean William Scott,
that
yeah,
was
Sean William
through
Scott.
them. That's
Yeah.
right. I forgot it.
But a movie that no one realizes existed, which I believe last I looked up, if I looked it up right, was their top-selling movie actually over Super Troopers. But no one realizes they did this movie, Slime and Salmon.
I don't think I've ever seen that one.
My point. It's basically their version of Waiting,
So, let me get this
but it's
straight.
hilarious.
So, are you telling us that there is a nerdy movie that neither JP
That
and
I knew
know
that you
about
two didn't?
No.
Yeah.
I think it's more rom-com, that's all.
No, it's fucking Broken Lizard. Like they all work in a restaurant, and it's owned by a boxing champ, and it just everything goes to hell.
It's their version of Waiting.
Basically, their version of Waiting, and it's hilarious. What's her name? I don't know. I can't remember. Kobe Smolder or whatever her name is. Is that her name? The girl who was in the girl who played it was in damn it, How I Met Your Father. Her name's Kobe.
the blonde?
The dark haired one. That was the news reporter, or whatever she did. Like she's in it as one of the waitresses. Like there's names in it. But like it's crazy to me because it actually, if I remember right, if I saw it right, it did better than Super Troopers. But everybody remembers Super Troopers and has no idea about Slime and Salmon.
Yeah, I don't remember that one.
Well, look, I finally gave you something to listen, go watch. Suck it.
I probably won't watch it unless you make it your choice for one of the
No,
movies to review.
don't tempt me. I will do it.
My next pick, Phantasm.
Ooh, okay.
Phantasm.
All right. I cannot argue with that whatsoever.
Yeah, like I love science fiction. I love horror, and the thing I love about Phantasm is Don Cascarelli, or however you say his name. I probably mispronounced it. I love.
Just so everyone knows, I'm looking up so I know what the hell he's talking about.
I love independent filmmakers, and Don has stayed, except for Phantasm 2, where he did go to Hollywood, take Hollywood money. After that, he went back. Every one of his films, for the most part, have all been independently funded by him, and so I love independent filmmakers. And obviously through the '90s, we got a lot of them with Kevin Smith and a lot of those guys. But Don was just that guy, and he's kind of stayed true to that through the years with the Phantasm movies, and he did John Dies at the end. He did Bubba Hotep.
I love John
Dies. He did Bubba Hotep.
I disagree with Bubba Hotep, though.
I love Bubba Hotep. Yeah, he's just, but he stayed independent. He didn't take Hollywood money except after he left Hollywood.
Bruce Campbell, if you're listening, I'm sorry. Bubba's the only one I can't get down with. I've tried. I'm really sorry. Go ahead.
I love Bubba Hotep, but yeah, Phantasm the series, it's just a fantastic science fiction horror series, and it's not even that scary.
Not what I just saw.
I don't think James would appreciate it, but I do think it's fucking amazing. And I think there's a lot to be said about Phantasm because you're watching the first episode, and you're kind of like, the first movie, and you're kind of like, what the hell's going on? Where are these things coming from? What's going? And then when you start getting into the other dimension, and it starts getting deeper and deeper, you're like, this is pretty cool. This is great. And they worked with limited budget, extremely limited budget. So
do you know why it was limited? Because no one wanted to watch it.
But no, they did. It's literally cult classic.
Yeah, I mean,
okay, Slime and Salmon.
To the extent J.J. Abrams redid the 4K restoration.
Nice. Okay.
And that was where Captain Phasma come from, was homage to Phantasm. Okay. J.J. Abrams created that in Star Wars for
to walk around in your brain for a day.
Come on, hop in.
Oh, First, not to go into this, but make it real quick. So the first day I joined the band, we're having first rehearsal. He comes over to me and goes, "Hey, if you get lost, if you need any help, just hop in right here." I go, "What?" And he goes,
"That's a smooth pickup line."
And he goes, "I'll carry you. It's all right."
By the way, guys,
like,
the bromance from these two on tour is stupid. So I just wanted to point that out.
I'm the best thing that ever happened to JP, and
for the rest of that tour, his hand was in his pocket. You better believe. Surprise! There's no pocket.
It's really just hand down the pants.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
I mean, albeit James was reaching for a minute, but we.
Number 3. Moving on. Jesus Christ.
All right, so this one is going to steer away from my normal avenue. And so, since this is a Get to Know Us episode, I was a dumbass and married my high school sweetheart right out of high school, thinking, we knew everything. Got married at 18, divorced by 19. Shocker right now.
And you think I'm the rom-com weirdo?
Listen, this one's for the you want a good movie to watch with the lady that you're with and locked in with. This is it. What Dreams May Come. And
it's a great movie.
It was a fucking phenomenal movie.
It's a great movie.
It's Robin Williams, Cuba Gooding Jr.
Yep.
And the way the story unfolds is beautifully done. You start off with the absolute worst thing you can imagine happening to a family as it slowly breaks apart, and it goes into this beautiful adventure of heaven and hell, and it's just amazing.
I think what got me with that movie was the year it came out, to how well they were able to portray those things and not make it look shitty.
Yeah,
the aesthetics of the backgrounds, it just everything. I mean, it's a rom-com. Don't get me wrong. I mean, but it's gonna, and if it, I mean,
it's a dark one.
And it's dark.
Yeah.
And, but it's, man, I actually forgot about that movie, and that was a really good one.
So, I've actually never seen that one.
I highly recommend it.
No,
any film buff, you want to check it out.
You got. I hate to say it, though, you got to be in the mood for it.
Yeah.
Only because it's heavy. It's very heavy, I mean, not that I don't give a shit. We got 3 grown men here, and you will tear up.
Well, that's what I was just gonna say.
If you don't, you're broken.
So when I watched this, though, it was because I was watching breakup movies or sad scenarios because I just gotten divorced.
Did you need
And
a hug?
I moved back home with my dad, and I'm living in my fucking parents' attic, and I'm watching this fucking thing, and I'm like just bawling my eyes out like a little bitch. And my friend comes in the door, Jason. I'll never forget this. He goes, "Get off your ass, dude. We're going to Cancun." And he had gotten us 2 tickets to Cancun spring break, and I stopped crying. We're good.
I wish James would do that with me.
Never.
Show up with.
Hey, you know
I
what?
got tickets to Cancun.
Oh wait, hold on. I'm gonna throw me. Heather and I have said, get your ass down. All he has to do is get his ass to our house in Jacksonville, and we will take him. We will pay to take him to Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah, but I have to save up money to get.
But he's got to save up like $4,000 to build every fucking lightsaber they offer. That's on him. I've offered. It's on the table. His trip to quote unquote Cancun, which this would be better for him anyway than Cancun. Let's just be honest here.
I mean,
That's fair.
He'd be bored in Cancun after a day.
if it's not spring break,
He doesn't drink.
Cancun's not worth it.
He doesn't drink. He does like that's not even a part. No, but taking him to Galaxy's Edge, he'd be.
Let's go back to that for a second. So, are you a when in Rome guy? Will you drink here and there?
Occasionally.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Noted.
Usually, I mean, if we're at the Mexican restaurant and there's margaritas.
So what?
Just
you're
go with
saying-
Waylon. Trust me, it'll happen.
So what you're saying is we need to do a distillery or brewery tour on our 100th episode of CineNerds because all you guys are going to stand.
Oh,
along
you
with
don't
us for the
want both of
adventure.
us plowed. You don't want that happening.
I don't have to babysit you. You're grown as men. I just gotta
Oh,
get you
you'll be
drunk.
babysitting, all right.
No, I'm good.
My wife says my wife has actually only seen me drunk like twice, and the first time she saw me drunk was at our wedding. And she goes, I have never seen you drunk. I like you drunk.
That's
You're
my
so
wife.
Oh, no.
That's my wife. She's like, you get a little bit in you, you're ready to go. But once it wears off, I drink till it's there, and then it wears off, and I'm done. I'm ready to go home. And it's like 2 in the afternoon. I'm like, let's go home.
Oh, you're probably so annoying too when that happens. You're like, all right, let's go, Heather.
Yep.
Come on, itch.
Yep. That's why I try to hold it off.
That's outstanding.
Alright.
Yeah, 3.
My number 3. All right, so I'm gonna go with the whole John Wick series. I can't pick one. I think that Keanu Reeves took a really bad hit in just the way people saw him as an actor when he was younger. I actually think he's a great actor. I think I love his whole backstory. That dude's been through hell and back, and he still gives to everyone. He'll do everything he can for everyone. You can't find one bad story about him online.
Yeah, I love the John Wick movies, especially the last one because Donnie Yen. I love Donnie Yen.
That was such a good movie.
Yeah, so like.
What's just funny, he played the same character he played from Rogue One.
Yeah.
In that movie,
He played
essentially.
a blind kung
Really?
fu guy. Yeah.
Who? Huh?
Yeah, but I will say this.
I love the guns. I love. You know what I love about it? I love. We were talking about this before we started. Like, I like my personal guns. I like to go shooting when I can. I'm not a hunter, but I do believe in self-defense and I believe in all that stuff. And I would literally love to make my house set up where shit's just hidden everywhere. Like, and my wife just looks like, "Why do you want to put that there?" Like, we have a fake book, and I go, "Can I put a gun in it?" And she goes, "Why?" I'm like, John Wick's house.
So I'm the flip of that. I'm a bladed person, so I have axes and swords and knives and machetes everywhere in my house, within a few feet in every.
What are you
direction.
waiting for?
Nothing, but it was really funny because my son's boyfriend came over and he's 6'9".
Your son's boyfriend?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. We can dig on that another time. But he didn't believe me, and I just reached behind my chair and he's like, "Dude," I'm like, I don't fuck around, man. I'm sorry.
I love how quiet he is of an actor. Like, even in his roles, like Constantine. I like how he's quiet.
That's a solid flick.
You know what I'm saying?
This is my thing though. I love probably 90% of Keanu Reeves movies. I mean, and I generally love them.
Yeah.
But he's not a great actor. I just never thought he was a great actor.
Well,
but I love some of the.
He's good at what he does.
He's good at what he does, and I love the effort he puts into, especially action films. The dude like went and learned how to do kung fu and all this stuff.
The gun
And
part?
Dude.
And
like, that
if you
blows my mind.
Yeah, the way he got with
He took it serious.
Yeah, he takes everything very serious, and I love that about him, which is crazy because I just don't think he's a great actor. you know.
No, he's
but
not a great actor, but he's a great human being.
He's a great human being, and
And-
he puts so much effort into his action. Anything he does has to do with the action films that he's working on.
It's something about those movies. Just I hate the fact that it has to start off because of a dog dying.
Yeah,
Like I'll openly admit, if it's just me watching
the
it,
way that unravels.
I will skip that part because I love animals more than people, and so I will skip that part. But the fact of like we now have a series of amazing movies all based off a dog dying.
Have you watched The Continental?
Love it.
It was excellent. It was excellent.
It's slow. Don't get me wrong. It's slow.
No, it's
but
good.
the build up to that third episode was necessary.
So for me, Keanu Reeves, in a nutshell, like as you said, he's one of those actors. Like there's certain actors who, when they act, they are who they are, and they're not going to be able to change or diversify from
No.
themselves, and that is his shortfall, right? But
Yeah.
but like you said, he chooses his roles wisely, and he is definitely locked in, and he's good at everything he does. So for me, I enjoyed the John Wick series immensely. I thought 4 was a little much, but I did enjoy the characters and the casting for it. So start to finish, I am a fan of it.
The only part of that movie where I'm like, Jesus Christ, is when he's trying to go up the stairs at the end. It's like, can you just let the guy get up the damn stairs at this
Right.
point? Like, it's like, it was 20 minutes of him trying to get up these damn stairs.
So can I ask you guys this about Keanu Reeves? So are you guys familiar with this comic book series?
No, I don't. I'm not a comic book guy.
So he and a friend of his, they started a fundraising campaign and built it up. It's called Berserker, and I have the first 2 comics of it, and it is an amazing storyline. I was actually blown away at it. Keanu's, go figure, he's the main character in it. But they're going to build a movie around this.
I loved him in Cyberpunk.
Yeah, that was great.
The
too.
video
That
game was
good.
sweet. Like, as him, I love that idea. Do you listen to his band?
What Johnny Mnemonic basically is this. So
Have you listened to his band?
they played at one of our venues last week.
Dude, Dogstar is not bad. He's actually a really good bass player. For what bass players do.
yeah. That's okay because I was a guitar player for years. So
We already forgot about that.
Wow, everyone got quiet.
yeah.
Backwards. Number 3, JP.
Number 3. Okay, my number 3 is not actually a film.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Deviating. We don't
I'm
know.
deviating. But it's something that really influenced a lot of films I watched, which was USA's Up All Night. Oh, you don't remember USA Up All Night?
I remember the commercials, but
Okay.
I don't remember it.
So it was a series that ran from I think mid late 80s through probably mid late 90s. They basically played like 2 or 3 films every Friday and Saturday
I
night.
remember this now.
Yeah.
I do remember this.
And the films were always like these low budget horror films or
Action
comedies or action or science fiction. It was a lot like the Joe Bob stuff, but it was all kinds of genres, and it was a lot of like exploitation films. And it made me fall in love with that whole exploitation film genre.
So this all started for you at a very young age.
Oh yeah, every Friday, Saturday night, I stayed up and I would watch USA Up All Night, and the films were literally Porky's. Yeah, you would see Porky's, and then you would see.
Did you not hear me say 6 years old?
Then you would say.
Viewings of these?
Then you would see like Radioactive Dreams. Then you would see. Maybe The Evil Dead.
I
or
think
like
I saw Class
movies,
of Nukem High on that.
You definitely Class of Nukem High.
What?
Yeah.
Class of Nukem High.
Or Hell
bless
comes.
you.
Hell
One of
comes
the
to.
best boner scenes
yeah.
you'll ever see in your life. It's fucking hilarious.
Or
I've never laughed so hard. And yes, don't take that out of context. You have to see what I'm talking about.
No, I
Yeah.
don't. I really don't.
films like Hell Came to Frogtown, was played on there.
Okay.
A lot of
What the
old.
hell did you guys
Yeah,
watch?
yeah.
This explains so much why you two are
A
the way you two
lot
are
of
at this
old,
point in life.
a lot of old Roger Corman films ended up on there. And it made me fall in love with a lot of those exploitation films.
Did you ever watch
and
Duckman?
Yeah.
I did watch Duckman.
I actually like
Loved
Duckman. Do you know who did the voice of Duckman?
I used to, and I cannot remember.
Do you?
He wasn't it?
You know him as George Costanza.
Oh, that was. Oh, never mind. I'm thinking of what was it?
You think of Howard the Duck?
There was Howard the Duck, but then what was the lawyer or the PI Hammer? Do you remember that in the 80s?
I know.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I actually went back and watched Duckman a couple of years ago.
I own it on DVD.
It is not great now, but I loved it back then. Like now, I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe I actually watched this. But sorry, I derailed there. But yeah, it made me think about you were talking about like back then, and that's I think is that was on so late, and I actually knew my parents would not want me watching that, so I sneak out in the living room at like 2 a.m. and watch it, and then go back to bed.
Yeah. All right.
Number 2.
All right. So I'm going to continue the deep one here. This is a deep cut. Growing up, you go through some things, and some things trigger you into watch movies, and that's part of what draws us into movies. So this one was a big one for me. Radio Flyer. It's Elijah Wood's first film as a child that I know of, at least. And it was about a broken home scenario and him and his little brother, and all he dreamed about was escaping the scenario he was in. And it was a little too close to home, but it was because of that I definitely appreciated it. Kind of also helped impact my mindset on some of the movies that I grew up to love, because part of when you're going through things, and part of the allure for movies to me was the escape, the element of not being here but being somewhere else, the imagination of it, the creativity, and Radio Flyer's full of it. So I love that.
Yeah, and I don't think I've seen that film since it came out.
Yeah,
I remember watching it, and I remember Elijah Wood, and I remember he's turning the Radio Flyer wagon into a plane or something. Yeah, but beyond that, I can't remember a thing about it.
Because I could. This is what I'm here for. Elijah Wood's first movie. Ready for this?
Go ahead.
So Radio Flyer came out in 92. His first movie was actually 1989.
Oh, what was that?
Back to the Future Part 2.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, he's in the
He's Video Game Boy number 2,
Yep.
according to...
I did not know that.
I thought, and that's the only reason why I derailed that, because I wanted you to know that.
So
He did a couple other in between, but nothing big.
A long time ago at House of Blues, I was standing side stage, and this little band was opening for Cake. The band was called Go Bordello. And one of their dancers was dating Elijah Wood at the time, and I didn't realize what was going on. And I looked to my right, and I'm standing next to fucking Elijah Wood, and I'm like, I'm next to Frodo right now. Oh, this is awesome. I had one of those moments with Cameron Diaz too when Justin Timberlake played at the Agora, so it was kind of fun little moments. But yeah, Elijah Wood, god damn it.
All right, my number 2 is Airheads.
Of course it is.
I thought you said it was number 1.
No.
Didn't you? No? Okay.
No,
Right.
my number 2 is Airheads. Like I said, I'm not really doing mine in an order, but number
right.
one, you're gonna be like, duh. But Airheads to me was that perfect, stupid, but funny. I like Adam Sandler, but I like that it's not Adam Sandler as everyone knows him as Adam Sandler. Like when he's like, "Oh, that's just Pip. That's the quiet cool." Like that was what he was in that movie, and he still had his weirdness when he did the whole weird dance, and,
little robot.
Yeah, like the whole he said some stupid stuff, but like he wasn't the Adam Sandler that we grew to love as far as Happy Gilmore and Billy Madison and and so on. But I love Brendan Fraser movies. Like I mean, all the way up to The Whale that came out a couple of years ago. That movie,
Yeah, I've actually not watched The Whale yet.
The Whale is a awesome movie, and it's good to see him back doing. To me, he's such a great actor. I love the Mummy movies. Is the CGI great? No.
Yeah,
I love the ride? Yes. Does it beat me the hell up when I go to Universal? Yeah. But
I love the Mummy movies, and I went to the theater and watched all 3 of those. And
but and Buscemi was the perfect fit to round those 3 out.
Yeah.
And the fact that that's kind of what got him started to do all the other Adam Sandler movies was that movie.
Yeah.
And his whole backstory is amazing. The firefighting in New York and going back, and I mean, like, we need more people like him in this world. But the fact that, come on, it doesn't get much more ridiculous than taking over a radio station with plastic guns with hot sauce. I mean, naked pictures of B. Arthur in the football helmet full of cottage cheese, and like I remember being a kid and started playing guitar and going like, man, I want a PRS. I have a PRS now. Like, it's not the Dragon inlay that he wanted, but like
I liked Airheads when I was young, and I've watched it in recent years, and it is a fun movie, and I've picked on you because you're like, oh, it's one of my all-time favorite films, and I'm like, I don't know about that, but it is a fun movie. I do enjoy it, and I do enjoy the the cast in. I think the cast is amazing in that movie. So
I mean, Kramer,
Yeah.
was in it.
Chris Farley was in it.
Yeah, he had a quick one. Well, even wow, Motorhead, Lemmy.
Yeah.
Lemmy had his quick.
Lenny.
Yeah, he had his quick. I was just editor of school newspaper. I mean, like the fact that White Zombie is playing on stage in that movie. Like there's something about those styles of movies, and I'm sure we'll go into this on another episode. But like those Airhead, Biodome, the stupid yet hilarious movies, Ace Ventura. Like, you watch back now, you just have to laugh because it's just ridiculousness. He's literally climbing naked out of a rhinoceros in Ace Ventura 2. Like, it's hilarious. You have to, if you don't laugh at it, you're broken.
Well, the rhinoceros scene's pretty good, but when the arrows are hitting his legs,
Yeah.
he's screaming back and forth.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
I don't know why, like, moments like that in movies, like, those make comedies for me. Whenever I hear a high-pitched tortured scream from somebody being electrocuted or shot, I don't know why.
See, when I hear anything like that, I think of Daniel Stern in Home Alone. Or Home Alone 2 when he gets, electrocuted. Like, those screams, like when he puts the spider on his face.
Yep.
That scream is the most
profile pic on Facebook.
It is. That scream is the most gut wrenching, just like.
It was probably a real spider, and he was probably really terrified.
Yeah, I would be. I don't like spiders at all. So yeah, like it's not something that big, But your number 2, JP.
My number 2. Okay, this is another one that I did not pick one film. I did this twice on my list. Canon Films.
God bless you.
No, well,
What?
I understand the word canon, but like elaborate. Give me context.
1980s Canon Films. They were pumping out, triple the amount of films that the major studios were doing every year.
No, I misunderstood you completely. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So Canon Films.
They do ski school.
No, but they did make
I know that.
they did make ninjas popular. They were like
Ninja movie?
Three Ninjas.
They did
American Ninja.
They did all the American Ninjas.
All right.
They did. Oh God, I think the ones that were just called Ninja.
I do vaguely remember those, but American Ninja was.
So yeah, they did all those. So like, they did a lot of action films. They did some of the Charles. They're the one that brought the Death Wish films back with Charles Bronson.
Okay. Cool.
They did. I know they did Cobra. They did some Stallone stuff. They did a lot of Chuck Norris stuff. They did like the Missing in Actions. They did like Firewalker with Chuck Norris. They did the Alan Quartermain movies. So they did like all this
Alan
stuff.
Quartermain, holy shit!
Yeah.
I forgot about those.
And they actually did Cyborg.
Wannabe Indiana Jones.
They did
I never saw any of those
Cyborg,
either.
and that was their niche was
Not
they
even a
would
joke.
they would do films cheap that were popular. They were kind of running that type of films, and they were doing them cheap, and they were pumping them out quick as they could, and the studio ended up being sold. They ended up firing the main guy that ran it because it was Gollum Globus, or however you say their names, that ran it.
Why do you know that?
Well, the film that actually put the studio under was they spent all this money for the rights to do Superman 4. And Superman 4 basically bankrupted them, and they ended up selling to, I think, Columbia Pictures, which is part of Sony, and then they had a couple of other people run it after that in the 90s. But the films that they pumped out in the 80s were just these. I mean, they made Michael Dudikoff an action star with American Ninjas and Platoon Leader and like all these films, and it was just a genre of action films and low budget science fiction films.
What was the was it Jeff Speakman? Do you remember that actor?
Yeah,
He like actually like perfected some martial art with his hands where his speed was so insane. But what were the movies he did?
He did one. Didn't he do?
Is this a test to see if he knows?
No, because he knew he remembered.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to remember the name of the movie.
He did. I know, he did one called A Perfect Weapon or something like that.
I think that is it. Yeah.
That's the only one I can think of off the top of my head.
No, because they built more out of that. There
Yeah.
was more than one, and it was all based off his martial art and his speed. So.
Oh, another one that Canon Films did was Masters of the Universe.
Oh, really?
They did Masters of the Universe.
Okay, that's.
And
It's
actually,
the only thing you've said in the last
wait.
5 minutes. I know what you're talking about.
And the sequel. Here's another trivia thing for you.
Wait.
The sequel that was supposed to happen to Masters of the Universe. You remember the post-credit scene with Skeletor popping up and at the end of Masters of the Universe?
I don't think I watched the post-credits scene ever.
There's a post-credit scene.
Shut up.
Yes, and Skeletor comes back.
Nerds.
So the second film was in pre-production when Canon Films went bankrupt because of Superman 4. The director of Masters of the Universe 2 was Albert Payan,
Oh, Jesus Christ.
which we talked about here. So
You should have saved that for last so we could run
Oh,
full circle.
Jesus. it went full circle.
he,
Jesus
uh,
We
Christ.
still got to do number one.
yeah, he actually took
fucking
the
hell.
Masters of the Universe sets that he built and filmed Cyborg.
Okay, that makes sense.
And that was actually part of Master of the Universe set.
You two are so full of just useless information. I can't wait for my wife to start watching this and go, I thought you were bad.
You're just lucky I didn't take my Adderall today.
Oh, shit. All right.
Number one.
Number one. All right. So this will break all usual. People usually hate sequels, but it is my favorite movie of all time, and it is my favorite sequel of all time as well. Empire
House 2.
Strikes Back. House 2 is pretty killer, but and we won't get into that.
House party?
No, Empire Strikes Back.
Friday?
Dude, don't fuck around. This is serious shit right now. This is Empire fucking Strikes Back. All right, so to me, Empire
What year
Strikes
did it come
Back.
out?
Well, hold on. Let's. Wait. 81, right?
I wasn't
Something
even
like
born
that.
yet.
81.
You two were
No,
actually
wait.
alive.
No, it was
80.
70. Wasn't it 78?
What? No, 77 was A New Hope.
Yeah.
Strikes Back was 80 or 81.
Yeah.
I want to say it's 81 because I think 83 was Jedi. Is
Yeah.
that right?
Something like
I
that.
wasn't alive yet.
It's in 83 you were?
In 83 I was.
Okay.
You didn't say 81? This one's now 83?
Uh-huh.
I was born in 82.
Okay.
You guys are old.
I was
Okay.
born in 79.
Empire.
Really?
When were you
Empire.
born?
So, anyways,
79.
we'll go back to this. So,
God, you guys are
so
old.
my first Star Wars movie was actually Return of the Jedi, and so Return of the Jedi, I saw the movie all the way through. So a lot was ruined for me, unfortunately, the way the order I should have watched it. But once I saw Princess Leia in the bikini outfit, I was hooked.
It
I
makes-
was
it makes
locked
everything
in.
better.
When you, I mean, again, I was 6. 6 was a big year for me in
I'm
film.
gonna leave this one alone.
So that definitely locked it in. Then I see characters like Boba Fett, Han Solo's in Carbonite. He's coming out of Carbonite.
Are you
Not
making up
Nazar.
words right now?
No. And the whole throne room duel, the whole everything pulled me in. And I was great with that. So then I knew there was more, and I had to go back and watch those. So I see Empire Strikes Back next. I didn't get to see New Hope till last, which is a weird order to watch those in.
You fucked
But-
up.
I did, but I was a kid and I didn't know, and it still didn't matter to me because when you're a kid and you want that imagination I was talking about, this movie pulled me in fully to every aspect you could possibly imagine. All the way into, I didn't care that I'd already learned. I'm sorry because we're going to make you watch this and it's going to ruin it for you. But
Not gonna watch
we'd
it.
already learned Vader was Luke's father.
Who?
And so when I'm watching the reveal
Earl Jones?
that happened and that, I am fucking just like still enamored, thrown into it. I'm like, no! Like I even looked past the Luke whininess, the scene that. Yeah,
That's how I felt every time Bruce Wayne's parents die.
And this is one of the reasons I did not put this on my list because I knew that we would both pick Empire Strikes Back, and
What's a Jedi?
so I knew we was going to be talking about this, and yeah, it's the same.
Quit eating into the mic. They don't want to hear you chew.
Oh, they'd rather hear me than you.
No.
Empire is just kind of the perfect movie, and it's only the second best sequel of any movie next to House 2.
Jesus.
But however, Star Wars is life for me, and yeah, I remember as a young kid around the same time, and I watched A New Hope first, but I believe I watched it on Betamax.
Hold on.
And
Star Wars is life, but is he the only one in this room that's been to Galaxy's Edge?
I have not been to Galaxy's Edge.
So for those who don't know, who are going to find us later or watch whatever, you have to understand something. This is not a joke. When I say I haven't seen something, I'm not lying. And one of those things is I've never seen a Star Wars movie from front to back, or a TV show, or anything on Disney Plus. I've not seen it. But I've been to Galaxy's Edge probably 100 times. And so one of my great loves in life is going to Galaxy's Edge, knowing that JP has never been there, and take pictures of things and ask him what these things are. The best one that I know actually physically made him mad was I took a picture of the giant Millennium Falcon that's there, and I asked him if that was the Death Star. I know he look at him he's trying I know
that wasn't the one that got me mad. We were talking about something in our text chat, and you said we were talking about Star Wars, but he goes, "Is this Lord of the Rings stuff?" I was like, "Motherfucker!" I love
the burrito gun.
Yeah.
I think that's when I was like, that movie's just about walking. No, there's only one return, and it's not of the king.
I don't know anything. I know what a stormtrooper is. I know certain things, but honestly, what turned me off as a kid was let's be honest. When we were kids, these movies were on every weekend on TV. Fair to say?
I didn't see a problem with it. No.
Well, every time I turned it on, it was at the Jabba the Hutt part. That thing,
Slave Leia part?
That thing is gross.
Yeah, Slave Leia in the bikini, and you'd think it's gross.
Yeah, well, that's the problem with James. You've got this beautiful woman in the slave bikini outfit, and he sees Jabba.
Yeah, he's looking at Jabba.
That's why you befriended me. You like fat guys. I see how it is. Get out of here.
No, here's the thing. You guys have both said I love sci-fi. Nah, I'm not. And if it says star in it, I'm out. Usually, I'm out. I've never seen. My dad loved Star Trek as a kid.
I love the original. I love the original Star Trek.
I hated
Star Trek. Not gonna lie.
You what?
I like all Star Trek. I'm not one of the. I love Star Wars first and foremost. It is life. But being a diehard sci-fi guy, Star Trek still has its value.
I
intent.
love the OG Star Trek. I love Captain Kirk.
You guys gotta understand. I just watched Killer Clowns from Outer Space for the first time a month and a half ago.
That's amazing. That's good. That's a step in the right direction. We're already making a positive impact.
I immediately wrote JP and wrote. Well, I sent him a picture of the title screen, and I go, "Well, here goes this shit," and he goes, "It's a cinematic masterpiece."
I was in that. I was a part of that. I remember that.
And then at the end, I go, "What the fuck did I just watch?" Did I hate it? No, but what the fuck did I just watch?
A cinematic masterpiece.
Although I do want a popcorn gun.
He wants the popcorn gun. I had the cotton candy gun up there.
I went to go get the popcorn gun, and they didn't. Every time they didn't have it, but yeah, I just can't. I can't. Whatever. All right, my number one.
You're number one.
Everyone knows that I'm a giant Batman fanatic, and everyone asks me how did that happen. It's honestly the first toys I remember playing with as a kid. My dad had. I had all the DC superpowers.
Are we going to talk about Batman Returns?
The Keaton Batmans are my favorite. That's all there is to it. Now, but here's my question, since I'm in this.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, right? You're welcome.
Yeah,
You're welcome. Good. Yeah? I don't think you're a candied guy.
Oh, I'm a sweets guy all day long. That's
I only got green ones, so maybe I should have got multiple flavors.
All right, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Anyway, no, it's fine. The only Batman movie I refuse to watch is the Clooney. And and Schumacher's has apologized. The apologies have been out there, so we'll leave that alone. I'm not a giant Ben Affleck fan, so I have not watched those yet because I just can't get into it yet. I have to be
Affleck is
ready.
the shit.
I probably need to watch it, but the only movies I like by him is Gone Girl and The Town.
You're missing out if you've not watched the
I'm going to watch
Batman.
it. I own it. I just haven't watched it.
He's great.
But,
he's way better than Patterson.
But here's my thing. Did you guys enjoy The Batman? Because I really did. It made me feel like I was actually in the video game.
This is what I'm gonna say about The Batman. I enjoyed it. However,
Here it goes.
Multiple reasons. Number one, I am so sick of Bruce Wayne being rebooted, and I'm ready for Terry McGinnis Batman.
Okay.
So I'm just getting frustrated with them rebooting Bruce Wayne at this point. So that's kind of where I'm at with this. So, and the second thing is, I would have enjoyed the Batman 15 years earlier.
Agreed. I actually would have liked to see it before Bale.
Had it came out 15 years earlier or before Bale.
I would have liked it before Bale.
Or even probably closer to 20 years. So it was closer to the time of the film Seven, because essentially the Batman is a Batman version of the movie Seven. I love Seven. I would have loved to have seen the Batman in that time period of my age, of when I watched those type of films,
right,
versus 2022 or whenever it was when it came out.
Yeah, it was 22.
So it kind of lost me, and I was excited about Patterson. A lot of people were upset about Patterson playing Batman, and I was actually excited. I think he'll actually do a pretty good job. Watching him, I think he did an okay job, but he's definitely one of my least favorite Batmans.
Did he play Batman in the movie? I thought that was Twilight.
He actually played a little whiny bitch version of Batman, and I did not really.
See, that wasn't Batman. That was called Twilight.
What I liked about it was, and it's funny because the two things that got me, and then I'm going to go back into it real quick on why I like the other ones. But what got me was, I had people go, "Oh, it's too much detective work." He's the world's greatest detective, you morons.
Yeah,
that's a part of the movie.
Not my problem.
And then some other people were like, "Oh, it's too dark. It was too dark. The movie was too dark."
My problem.
It's Batman, you morons. What do you want it to be in the middle of the day? But the reason why I like the Keaton ones is because Keaton was a very dark version both ways. The way I feel it should be, no matter what, with Bruce Wayne and Batman. I don't like that they gave the suit the neck movement. I understand why they needed to make it. They needed it to progress, and I get that. But the Keaton movements is what got me as a kid. When he turned around and Axis Chemicals, but he couldn't move his neck, so he's got to move his whole body. He had movements down that I don't feel like anyone has duplicated since. But I love the car.
I love the car, absolutely.
The car, the 89 and 92 car, was my favorite Batmobile of all time.
Now, this statement that you've just said, that exact statement right there.
Don't make me throw popcorn at you.
No, this is good. This is awesome. I want you to remember that every time you're giving us grief about nerding out, because it is an awesome and valid point to think. That's an awesome thing to see and notice. Something I didn't think about till just now. I love that he didn't have that mobility.
Yeah, no, he didn't
and
have
so
that.
I love that you're noticing that and you're catching on that, because you're not a nerd like us so much, but you've got your moments, and that means there's hope for you. So that means I can get you into Star Wars.
Actually, you ready for this? You can't, and I'm going to tell you why. The same reason that my wife always says, well, Batman could never happen. Batman could happen. A guy with a lot of money, that could happen. Star Wars, it's never going to happen.
It already is.
No. It's in a galaxy far,
Dude,
far away.
The Force is a fucking
Jesus Christ
presence in the world. Like, it's in your blood. It's flowing through you right
it's
now.
It's not. Mine. No, it's not. Mine is nothing but ghosts.
We're vibrating together right now.
So, I will say this, talking about Batman. I was growing up.
I hate you.
I would.
God, I feel gross now.
I would get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and watch the Adam West Batman series, because it used to play early.
Yeah,
like
I met him. He's awesome. I love Adam West.
Like, I loved
have the whole series
Adam
on
West
Blu-ray.
Batman, and I did like Keaton's Batman.
I even like Kilmer's Batman. He took shit, but I liked it. He was a better Bruce Wayne than he was a Batman, but
Yeah.
I liked it.
I like Bale. I liked the Bale movies. I didn't so much like him as Batman, but I loved the movies.
I didn't like the first one because I feel they could have did so much more with Cillian Murphy's Scarecrow. It was a shit Scarecrow.
I just have one question about Bale. Why the fuck, when somebody finds out who the fuck you are, do you still keep the voice? Why are you still doing the voice when they know who you are? It's not necessary.
Okay, so if we want to do that, I'm going to go into this real quick, because a lot
Sorry,
of people.
that was too loud.
But a lot of people with me have had that conversation. I hated the voice.
No,
but I'm going to say the same thing. But I'm going to say the same thing that I said about Jared Leto's Joker in Suicide Squad. Oh, he looked like an idiot. It's not his fault. He didn't pick what he looked like. He didn't pick what he wore.
He did look like an idiot.
He did, but he didn't get to choose that.
But I actually liked how he played the Joker.
He didn't get a fair chance at all.
Yeah, no, he didn't.
Because we're just dumb as a like you think they probably told Bale come up with a voice.
So.
And then they were like, "Yeah, that's good. Go with it." He didn't,
and that's fine.
But
that's
I just
my
don't.
issue with it.
No,
issue
I
is
get.
that when
I get what you're
already
saying.
could find out who he is, that he would keep. You don't have to keep the voice.
No, I
anymore.
get that, and I agree with that. But my thing is, but just going on the voice itself, it's like nobody. Some of the, don't get me wrong, actors will say, "Yeah, hey, how about this?" or "I ad-libbed that," or "I did this," or whatever, and that's great. But like to go back to the Leto thing, do you think Leto walked in and goes, "This is what he's gonna look like"?
Oh,
they said,
sit
down in that chair, and here's what we're going to do. And actually, and I'm not a big... Okay, look, I'm a big Batman fan, but I'm not a big comic book fan. But from what I've looked into, that was the style Joker of the Suicide Squad. Am I wrong? I've had some people tell me that, and I've looked into it a little bit. Like, and you can't have the same thing every time. Like, as far as I'm concerned, we have the CGI now. If we don't get a Clayface as sometime soon, if we don't get a good Killer Croc... If we don't get a Mad Hatter, if we don't start getting some other things soon, I'm about to give up with them because I'm over them.
Do you know what my pivotal Batman was? It's fucking Gotham. Because Gotham the TV series,
that was a great show.
Was so dark. All the characters were done well. They had their origins. They built up. They developed.
They started losing me when it got a little sci-fi. Like it went a little out there for me.
When they got into the owl, whatever.
I actually love everything about the Court of Owls.
Okay. I love Titans. Titans, I thought was fantastic.
Titans.
Too.
I haven't seen the last season, but yeah,
it's good. It's pretty good.
What's your number one?
My number one.
Oh God, I'm so afraid of this.
I don't know what to think here either.
Jesus Christ.
I'm actually really surprised neither one of
it's
you
gonna have
guys
something with Walter Goggins in it. I guarantee that.
does not.
Fuck you.
Does not.
Fuck you.
Are you that huge? Like I like him.
No,
I like him a lot.
He would scrub his balls for a job.
So you liked when he played the you were probably happy about that, huh?
Played what?
When he was a transvestite?
Oh,
that was Sons of Anarchy?
Yeah, he did. He played the part.
Oh,
he played the
right.
part. He's the best character actor.
He didn't say no. He said yeah.
He's the best character actor.
I was like, so you really liked it? Yeah.
This is my favorite part you ever played.
I'm actually surprised, y'all,
scary.
that you have not figured out what my number one is.
I'm trying to look at all the Blu-rays and DVDs. I can't. What? Let's just do this. What?
Evil Dead 2.
Why would I even think that? I've never seen an Evil Dead.
But so okay, the big question here for you, before you start giving the justification to it, why 2 over 1, and do you consider 2 a sequel?
Well, 2 is not a sequel.
Perfect. That's what I was looking for. Okay.
2. If the beginning of 2 essentially reshot 1, and then it was just a longer winded version that kind of changed.
Which one's the movies that says Shop Smart, Shop That Smart? Is that Evil Dead?
That was Army of Darkness.
Yes.
Army of Darkness. Okay, I've seen that.
Or he does it in a different version of that, Ash vs. Evil Dead 2.
Yeah.
It's just pillow talk, baby.
But Evil Dead 2, because that film, not only did it really influence how I look at a lot of horror films, because I love the slapstick comedy. I love the Three Stooges feel of Ash and everything about that movie. The campiness, the special effects. I love practical effects. I'm not a fan of CGI. Because to me, CGI does not look real in modern films. It don't matter how good it looks. It doesn't matter how good it looks. CGI will never look as real as practical effects.
Listen. You both fucking got...
Nick Cage was in The Flash. The Flash was great.
When you saw Cage flying with the red cape. Don't lie.
I was more excited about Helen Slater.
Okay.
But
I was more excited Keaton.
Back to his Terry McGinnis statement.
Back to Evil Dead
2.
We're not talking about Batman or Flash anymore. Evil Dead 2 to me has influenced so many modern films, with like films like Tucker and Dale, and just the comedy aspect and the more slapstick idea of comedy in horror films. And I know there wasn't the first, but Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell made it popular.
They're a great team
to do comedy and horror, and they were just it was perfect timing, the perfect film, and it's just that film. It's that good.
Trivia for you. What's the one consistent thing about all Sam Raimi's films?
The car.
Okay.
The
All
car.
right. Look at that. He nailed it. You're like, what? He puts his mother's car in every film that
Why?
he does. It's just a rolling thing.
Yeah.
It's even in his Spider-Man movie. It's him and Uncle Ben are sitting in the car.
Never seen a Spider-Man movie.
Oh my God. There's hope for him. We'll get him there.
The only Marvel movies I've seen is the Venom movies, the Deadpool movies, and the Guardians of the Galaxy movies.
I don't even. Well, yeah. I'm
Well,
more of a
the
DC.
first
I'm
two-
more of a DC fan anyway. But
I like the DC cartoons
Yes,
more
totally
than
agree with
the
that.
actual
yeah,
movies. But
yeah. Well, I mean, when I say I'm a DC fan, I'm a DC comic book fan, and yeah, has Marvel done better films than DC? Sure, but I love the stories. I love the comics, and I'm a huge Green Lantern fan. I'm a huge Superman
you have the
fan.
tattoo.
I have a Green Lantern tattoo. Yeah.
Evil Dead 2 was one of those pivotal moments for me as well because, one, they had such a low budget. They were given a little more to beef it up. When 2 came into play, it was done right. It was done almost like, if I have to say, like for that genre, I would still put Evil Dead 2 in a B film world.
Oh yeah.
So for that genre, I would say that was the perfect B film most perfect I've ever seen, just start to finish, because you've got low budget, you've got the special effects, which at the time for what they had was not bad at all. Crushed it. The story was there. It was fun, engaging. The horror moments made you jump, and God damn it, Bruce Campbell is just magical in his little moments where he puts those one-liners in there, the zingers, the way he delivers. It's great.
Yeah.
It's a good film.
Yeah, and I hate to harp about this movie, but the new one, I hated it.
Really?
I hated the new Evil Dead.
I didn't mind it.
But let me explain why. And I've had people argue with me, oh, well, you didn't like it because Bruce wasn't in it. Well, yeah, that is one reason, but that's not why I hated the film. I hated the film because the film took itself too serious. It lost that Three Stooges feel. It lost that comedy feel. With they exchanged Three Stooges style comedy with more gore and more real horror versus what was there before.
So when you take Bruce Campbell out of it, and you have the Deadites taking over on a city level.
But even if you're saying that, let's look at the Deadites in Army of Darkness. I mean,
It's a little different though.
Are you guys making up words?
No.
No.
I mean, I love the campiness. I love the silliness of them, and
I was completely good with it. I thought that for what they're to bring it into another era, to keep that film franchise going, I think it's the next logical step, which is the same reason why you'll argue with me one day when we get there and you haven't seen it yet. I will always defend Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull. Anyways,
I enjoy Christmas.
So judging off of what he said, though, and I've never seen any of it, the only reason why I think they went that direction is because everybody I know that gives me shit for not being into horror movies, the gorier and the grosser the better.
Well,
so that's why they probably wrote it that way, and that's what kind of.
But
I would probably
is,
agree with you though that they went away from what those movies were supposed to be.
But the thing is the Evil Dead 2, Evil Dead 1, they were gory. Yeah. I mean, they were bloody.
So the gore isn't the issue. What he's saying in the new one, I think.
What he's saying is it doesn't have the comedic relief,
yes.
and that's my point. Is I think because most of the people that I am friends with that love horror movies, they don't care about that. They just want to see blood and guts and grossness.
Well, I disagree.
And so, you may disagree with that, but a lot of that's what I hear from my friends. Like, oh, you won't watch it because it's so gross and it's this and that, and that is the case.
The cheesy one-liners deliver and Scream all the time. Scream, the franchise, that's like what they're made of. They got these one-liners, these zingers in it, make you laugh, and it's got a little thing that takes you off the beaten path, but they still keep the focus. So that's the only reason I disagree in that. But I do understand what you're saying. For like the masses,
as far as the masses go, yeah, that's why they did that. Most likely is my guess, and that kind of sucks because that's what I know. Even I've never seen them, but I know that that's what they're based off of. Well, you went slapstick comedy with grossness.
You went through almost 35 years or so of the films and even TV series. I love Ash versus Evil Dead. I actually love Ash versus Evil Dead more than the Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness. But so you've went a span of like 35
Lucy
years.
Lawless crushed it there too.
And Lucy was so amazing. But you went through 35 years of film, TV series, even video games. If you go into like some of the PS2 titles, you know, they felt like Evil Dead. It felt like what we've had for 35 years. And then after 35 years, you're going to change it.
Well,
and you're going to lose it because
hold on, you're a Star Wars fan. Come on, like what you just said is totally. It's the same thing. So my.
So what you're saying? He's not really a Star Wars.
No,
fan.
he is. But we've had to when that's what fanboys get so upset about is because everyone believes it's our world. It's what we focused on. We're so happy to be vested in it and have that. And then it changes.
I get where you're going with this, but with Star Wars, it's still Star Wars.
I agree.
It is.
But I guess to my point, it still holds what I'm about to say, the analogy. When it comes to films and the way they carry forward, we only get to be a backseat driver. Yeah. We're not steering the car.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm just happy to get more content and keep it going. Even if it's not always something I like or agree with, I still know that there's more content because of it.
Yeah. And this is my other gripe. And okay. Even though they went that direction, I feel like where they lost me is too, outside of losing the feel of Evil Dead, is they did make things more gory. They made things a little more cringe, but the peephole scene, as great as that shot is, you didn't see a lot of the gore. Yeah, there was a lot of things that if they wanted to make it completely a gore fest, that I feel like they could have shot different and let's just make it a bloody mess. And they didn't, And I will say this though, the one thing I did love about that film was the creature design at the end. I did love the creature design at the end. It felt very old school. If that makes sense. Yeah, it felt like it came out of The Thing or something,
right?
And that worked for me. But everything else, just going by the numbers in that film, it just didn't hit it with me.
So let me ask you this: so you talked about Evil Dead 2, and Army of Darkness, and the new Evil Dead, but you aren't talking about the remake,
the reboot.
Yep.
Yeah.
With the girl Ash.
Yeah.
So I have a way that could be good and salvaged still.
Oh yeah, well they talked about 3 books.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, well in the new film they talked about how there was 3 books, in the recordings, in the record recordings.
So you guys
they said there's 3 Necronomicons. So to me they explained the Ash book, the reboot book, and the book that they're.
Well, my whole thing before, I didn't even know that aspect or look that deep into it, but my whole thing was I was hoping that. Just because it's different dimensions, and I was hoping that you get female Ash meeting male Ash, and they're like, Ash, and like something similar, something goes down that line, you fix whatever was.
Unfortunately, I don't think we'll ever get that because of Bruce Campbell. I don't think he's going to do it, but yeah, I don't. The reboot.
I'll talk to Bruce next time he's at Agora.
I will say this. As much as I hate to say it, because I didn't like the reboot either.
I wasn't a big fan of it, but that was my hope for the direction to fix it.
I wasn't a big fan of it, but honestly, I kind of enjoyed the reboot a little more than the new one. But I hold them both pretty low, so fair. I don't have a good opinion of either. So
let's wrap this one up. We've gone through 16 movies, our top 16, because I threw an extra one in. You're welcome.
17, because I put a tie.
Yeah, that's true.
And he put all USA up all night.
The whole series for 10 years, right there. Yeah.
All the movies ever. On
but
USA
I do think that we need to say one thing, and I'm going to speak for the 3 of us here. Hopefully, to those of you who have watched this, thank you. We're gonna try to get something out every week. But one of the big things that was for me was, to have. We have over 1,000 followers on the page on Facebook already, and we appreciate that. To all of you who have wrote saying we can't wait, to all of you who, when me and JP saw you on tour, said we can't wait to see you guys do this. You know, we appreciate that. We appreciate you guys waiting patiently while we were able to get together in one room and get these first couple episodes done, instead of doing, online and video conferencing in and all that, which we will do when me and JP are on tour with Ryan. We will make sure we get there. One of the things that we are going to work on, well, JP is going to work on because he knows it more than us, is a Patreon page that can really help us out, and we'll get you guys some special content for that. And and that's mainly just to help us maybe actually get a place that we can leave set up for this, because right now we're in JP's studio room, which it works, and we thank you for letting us use it. But in the same aspect, it'd be nice to have a home base so we can find a place that we can do this, and have it set up our own little spots. It'll also help us out with, the recording stuff that we need, the software necessary for us while me and JP are on tour, to get Ryan in, or to even have special guests, a video in, and have them a part of the podcast also. So look out for all of that. But thank you so much for joining us for the first CineNerds episode.
Now that he rambled forever, I'm going to just say this too.
Oh, because you two didn't go off about Ash for the last 20 minutes.
That's okay.
I watched it.
You're just the sidebar filler.
You ain't lying.
I lie. He's actually great.
Star Wars is the best.
So if you go on our Facebook page, please look at the email, 3cinenerds@gmail.com. And the reason I want to cite that is because we definitely want feedback, and we want to constantly keep improving. So if you guys have suggestions, there's suggestions. We understand that, and I hope you guys do too. But we want to hear them. So email us, send us suggestions, things you'd like to hear, maybe us talk about, cover.
What movies to watch?
Yeah, the suggestions for movies especially, we'd love it. We've got our own in mind, obviously, and we can make this go forever, because obviously we love movies, but your feedback matters, so we want you guys to feel as much part of this as we are.
Yeah, I think at some point we're going to put some polls up on the Facebook so everybody can vote. What we may do, and I've not talked to them about it, but like he said, we're going to do a Patreon page. I'm sure we'll do like some bonus things on there with the subscriptions on there to help pay for new cameras, new equipment, but more so we may actually be able to do like actual request, like donation request to do a film through there or something of that nature. But that's a bigger discussion that we'll all go over. But we're definitely going to get some polls up for now for future shows so y'all can vote. And
by polls, we mean to make this money happen, we're going to have JP dance on these polls.
Yeah. So.
Nobody.
Actually, what James is over there in the corner saying is
where I belong.
He's gonna dance on the pole.
Everybody puts James in the corner.
Until you lift me up.
I see some more content.
Alrighty. Until next time, I'm JP.
James.
Ryan. And we're CineNerds.